I made it to the RTR. I'm so excited to be here at Quartzsite in Arizona.
In half a mile, use the right lane to exit right to exit 19, US 95, State Route 95 toward Parker, Yuma.
Hello guys, I'm here in the beautiful desert of Arizona at the WRTR. The RTR starts tomorrow, and I just wanted to give you a view. Camping with the ladies from the Butterfly Tracks or Butterfly Tribe. That's my van and my setup. I have a limited setup this time because we had a lot of, well, I guess it's called a sandstorm. So I didn't want to put too much out. But here it is. Isn't it beautiful? This was my meal prep, my dinner for this evening. Sorry I didn't get a chance to show you the preparation, but it is very windy out here and I'm hungry. So here it is. I made myself some salmon, mac and cheese, and a salad with my ginger ale. You can see all the different types of vehicles, from regular cars, minivans, to mid-size and larger vans, to even RVs. There were also food vendors if you wanted to purchase some food or a snack.
Too stealth, and in my opinion, you can't be stealth anyway. For one thing, you're there all night. That's a clue. Another thing, condensation. When you look through the car, you can't see light on the other side. There's window covers. So anybody that would knock on your door knows you're in there. They know. The police or the people around there, they already know you're in there. And if you're in the right kind of place, they're not going to bother you. I've never had a knock. And so the people who don't know you, would not knock on your window, don't really care anyway. You could pull out a barbecue, whatever. They're not going to notice. They will not know you're in there. But other nomads, I can always spot somebody that's trying to be stealth, especially later in the night. And so I would kind of rather they know I'm in there. I probably would rather they not know I'm a woman, but I don't mind if they see that I have window covers and so forth. I don't mind not being stealth, is my point. Because I think they'd rather go to an easy mark, and the easier marks are in town anyway, right? And not out where we usually are. So that's my opinion on stealth.
Be broken down on the side of the road. And they're hoping for a victim to stop and help them. Now, there are people who are genuinely broken down and need help, but it has become a thing where people feign needing help to lure you out of your vehicle to nab you. And this is just something to be very, very aware of. If you're in a say you're driving at night, you're in a remote place, and there's just a person on the side of the road, I'm not somebody who's going to stop. I want to help people. I want to help people as much as possible, but I'm not the one to help somebody in a remote area on the side of the road, especially at night, especially if there's not traffic around. It is unfortunate if they genuinely need help, but I'm not willing to put myself at risk and fall victim to this scam that has become rather prevalent in recent years. And when I say prevalent, I don't mean every person on the side of the road, but it is something that I have been hearing about that I never used to hear about in previous years. And so I have a lot of physical tools to help me be safe. I drive just a standard GMC van, so I'm not super limited on space, so I can have tools like my jumper cables, my fire extinguisher, hatchet, jerry can, so if I run out of gas, it's easier to get help. But the biggest tool, as we established earlier, is our mind and our intuition. And sometimes I roll into a place and I don't see any signs that would let me know it's dangerous. My eyes tell me it's safe. I've never heard anything about it being dangerous, but the feeling's off. I trust that feeling, and sometimes it might feel a little silly to just leave a perfectly good camp spot and go camp somewhere else, but it's gonna feel worse to ignore that feeling inside and have something bad happen.
For those that may not be familiar with what the WRTR, what it is, it's an amazing event for the gathering of female van lifers, whether you're full-time, part-time, or even exploring the option of becoming one. I thought it would be a good idea for you to take a ride with me so that you can see what it's like to park or to camp on BLM land. I wish I had a better idea of the detail of it so that I would know what to expect. So the terrain is rough. There's many small rocks and dips and ditches in the road. So I drove very slowly. So BLM land stands for Bureau of Land Management, which pretty much means that it's government owned, and as campers we can park there for 2 weeks at a time, which is 14 days. After that, you need to move on to a different area, I believe not in that particular park area. Those people can pass me. Go ahead and pass me. These things are treacherous on tires. So there are no addresses to find a location. You have to use something called coordinates, and driving those coordinates would lead you to an area. As you can see while I'm driving through, everyone is really spaced out, and most campers do not camp near one another unless you're with a group. As you can imagine, when it gets dark out here, it's really dark. There are no lights. So everyone knows when the sun goes down, I go in my van. But some nights, I hung out a little. It also gets really cold at night. I was surprised it could get as low as 30 degrees. Luckily, I was prepared, but it was harsh. If you know me, you know that I'm scared of almost anything. I was on high alert for animals, coyotes, scorpions, snakes, but thank God nothing came my way. wonderful group of ladies. For safety concerns, we were sworn to secrecy. So I can't tell you where the coordinates are, but if you joined the Butterfly Group's Facebook page, they would tell you where to meet them, and then they drove us to the location. At that point, you would have to remember how you got there in order to get back. I truly felt so comfortable camping with this group of ladies. It made my experience at the WRTR so enjoyable, communing with other women, and a few of them I had already known because I've camped with them before. Beautiful mountains. Anyone who's ever camped with me before knows I like to find my little spot off to the side by myself. And here is where I decided to camp. All alone in my lonesome, in my private little area. I left my little setup here so that everyone knows that I'm camping here. Someone's been camping here. That's that. I don't know if this is dust or sand, so it makes it a little difficult to cook outside. So I haven't been cooking as much. Last night I made dinner. This morning I plan to make some breakfast. So I figured I'd have you join me. So let's start. My goal is to make pancakes and turkey sausage. Let's see how it goes. So while I'm making breakfast, I figured I'll just nibble on some pineapple that I have. Ooh, this pineapple is good. I also put up the wind guard to help with the wind. I just touch it to feel the heat. I like to use the turkey sausage. I couldn't pack my normal kitchen scissors. I had to pack something smaller, so I have these small. I usually use this like to cut my hair. So it has a dual purpose. I usually eat 2, but I'm feeling kind of hungry. So I'll make 3. While this is starting to cook, I can mix up my pancakes. This is my bag of water. I bought these because they're easier to store because they're plastic. Instead of having that big water bottle, 5-gallon water bottle jug. Okay. Ah! I only use coconut milk. This is my special ingredient. A little bit of vanilla extract. Not too much. And I bought a little bit of cinnamon from home. I didn't get to pack too many bowls or anything, so I just have to use a regular bowl to mix it up. Because I was limited to 2 luggages. You know, each have to be 50 pounds, so couldn't pack too much. Sausage. Pineapples are delicious. I have to turn the flame down a little. have another stove and burner. I mean, a burner and butane, but I don't feel like taking it out. I'm gonna make it all in the same pot. Maybe I should take it out. I don't feel like it. Coming along pretty good. Let me bring you a little closer. I don't like to add a lot of like butter and, you know, so I figure it'll cook in its own juices. Give it like maybe 2 more minutes and then I will just add the pancake. I hate the fact that I have to buy this whole packet instead of, if I want unsalted butter, I have to buy the whole packet instead of just getting like a stick or 2. But that's what happens when you want a special diet. Just want it cooked on both sides. I usually pack my larger table, but I borrowed this from my friend Kat so that I didn't have to pack a table. It works. Okay. This is how you make good camping. Now for my pancake. That's a little too much butter, but oh well. Oh. They're not gonna come out pretty and circular, but hey, oval is good. This is kind of burnt over here, my butter, but it's all right. We're gonna make it work. It's probably the table is unlevel because of all of the gravel as well. All right, here goes nothing. It's working. You see how windy it is? Blowing around my wind guard. Makes it pretty difficult to cook. Great. I went grocery shopping in Phoenix when I got off my flight and was purchasing all the items for my van setup. So that's where I bought all my provisions, groceries. Okay. All right. That looks done. I can use some of this remaining butter. In the center. All right. Oval. That's as best as it's gonna get. Again, I had to buy a big bottle, couldn't find a smaller bottle. Here it goes. Oh, I hate when that happens. All I'm going to do is just turn it over really quickly and let that flour blend in. Yep, it's okay. That's it. May have had the flame up too high. Add my syrup. It's breakfast. Now it's time for the part that I hate the most, and that's washing dishes. I have to use gloves because that's what I use at home. So why would I never wash dishes without gloves, and why should I start today? I prefer to use a paper towel because I'm not going to rinse out the sponge and go through all of that. The only time I use a sponge, and I have them, would be when, like, I have some stains that are difficult to get out, which might happen for this pan. It's a little burnt, but other than that, let's see how it goes. I prefer to use my dishes. I know it would probably be so much easier to use disposable utensils, but I just like my stuff, you know, and I don't see why I should have to change if I'm willing to go through the, see, came off rather. If I'm willing to deal with the grunt rather, of having to wash them, if it makes me feel happy when I'm cooking and while I'm eating it. You know, they say presentation is everything, so it may even make the food taste better with presentation. really quiet. Especially a lot of people went to the RTR this morning. I really didn't want to deal with the crowds. I figured I'll go later in the afternoon. Oh, shit. Excuse my language. I've been having a lot of oh shit moments this trip. Like, for instance, how cold it was at night. Oh my gosh, treacherous. I'll show you guys what I used for my, to keep warm and for my bedding. Yep, I'm gonna need the sponge for this one, I think. Hi. Back in a sec. So I have these, what are they called? Scotch-Brite sponges. We all know what those are. And what I do is I cut them into, what is it, 3s or 4s, quarters or thirds. I think I did these in thirds so that I don't have to use a bunch of them. See? They work the same way. Sweat it. Oh, wait, shower tin. Detergent on it. Dishwashing soap. I keep saying detergent. I don't know why. See? You don't have to use it. And then I usually don't save these once I've used it. Camping, I don't really have a place to neatly store it, so that's why I don't like to wet them all up. And this one also. So funny to you guys, it probably wouldn't matter to watch me doing this, but for my daughters, they know how I am about washing dishes. I don't want to see food stuck on it. I don't want, make sure before you put it in the dishwasher, you rinse it off to make sure that there's no stuck on the food. They know, right, Deja and Daniqua? All right. Or maybe they act like I'm that so great doing dishes so they don't have to do it and be like, oh, Mom, look, you do it better. You know, they play tricks on us. The thing I like about this bag is that it doesn't use a lot of water because it has to be tilted properly in order for the water to keep coming out. So that's a plus. Sometimes it misses. prefer to wash them and then, you know, rinse them all at the same time. That's just my preference. It might be different for you, but more grime on there. And being that I have the sponge, I might as well do this one over. This one too. This shows you, I didn't just get into this diva thing. This was my mother's, I guess, pie cutter. And, you know, she was serious about her dishes too. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's a C engraved in it. That's my mother's name, Carol. So I guess you can see that's why I'm so particular about my dishes. Wow, I just realized that. Yes, my mother had dishes with her initials engraved. Then go through the process. Of now drying the dishes. Guess I don't need to take you guys through that boring process, but that's my process of making breakfast on the road. And as you can see, it's not something that's a quick thing. You have to prepare. I see why a lot of people choose to, you know, have disposable dishes and plates and, you know, probably eat a lot of already made foods. Not saying that I don't eat ready-made foods, but I try to limit it as much as I can. Try to stay conscious about what I'm eating, and let's face it, you don't know when your food is being cooked by someone else or in fast food. You really don't know what's in your food. At least if you make it, you know what you're eating and you know how to moderate it. That's it. See you guys later. Just wanted guys how I had to take a shower. It is so windy out here. You can see the wind and probably hear it at this point. But I wanted you guys to see how I had to take a shower because it's so windy, it's so difficult to keep the tent staked into the ground. I had to think of something creative. So let's take a look. I will show you guys a van tour later, but as you can see, for the minivan that I rented, I had to tie the shower tent to the outside of it so that I can take a shower. Now the benefit of that was I was able to go directly from my van side door into the shower and then come back out. And I put my towel was inside where that strap is, and I had my robe right here so that I could reach it from the shower. So let me show you how I did it. So firstly, I tied one of the I don't know what loops with the string that came with the shower tent to the inside of I guess the hook inside, and then I placed one of the mats that I bought from Dollar Tree on the ground, and then I tied another string from the bottom of the shower tent to the front car door, and then I tied the other to the sliding door, but it was going to be open, so it kind of left it open. As you can see, the wind is blowing down everything. And let's see what else. I was able to climb right in. Let me show you. Well, I don't think I'll be able to really show you like that, but all I had to do was hold the shower door and step right in. And now I'm inside. I put the solar shower hose up here so that it could, get warm, which it wasn't that warm, but I mean, it was warm enough to take a shower, a quick shower. And then when I had the shower door zipped. It's hard to do it with one hand. I had the shower door zipped up, and then I put the hose through here. Hope I don't get too wet. Then I turned on the hose, boom, and just showered up myself. And then opened it back up and was able to step right back in. Whew. Right back in to the van. And I hope this was helpful whenever, I guess, you can't stake your stakes from your tent into the ground. Don't let that stop you. Where there's a will, there's a way.